Hello, everyone. It's July 26th. All right, it's towards the end of the month, and I want to talk about transitions. I want to talk about that because lately I've been talking with a lot of people, and it seems like everyone I'm talking with, or a lot of people I'm talking with, they are going through a transition, and I like to have conversations like these because it helps us to reflect on what those transitions mean in our lives. And so sometimes, when you're going through a transition in your life, it may not be the most comfortable position. You know what I mean? It might be a little bothersome because like you're breaking out your comfort zone, and especially if you're a person that been in a certain place for a long time, or if someone hasn't experienced a lot of change, then when a transition is occurring in your life, it may you may get easily frustrated or discouraged. But the way we look at these transitions in our life impacts how we move forward. And once after the transition is over, how we adjust to the new chapter in our lives. Okay, so I wanted to talk about a couple examples because when I was talking with a couple people about this and I was thinking about it, I thought about a few transitions that we can actually relate to. So, like, for example, when someone is moving, when you're moving, I mean, we could say, like, if a person is moving from, an apartment to their first new house. Now, that sounds like an exciting event, right? Well, it sounds exciting and it sounds good and positive because, like, they don't have to pay rent no more, they don't have to be in an apartment no more. It's like, it's something new and different, it's better, right? But, in that process, it's frustrating because, now you have to throw away a lot of shit, go through everything, pack up everything, make like a lot of different adjustments. And that process is not so fun. But the end product of that is like, hey, I'm moving into my new house, my first new house. So it makes the transition all worth it. Sometimes that's how we have to see our transition, while we're going through it. We have to see it like, okay, this is not for nothing. This is for a purpose, for change that's going to help me grow. It's promoting my growth. You know what I mean? Another example, like I've heard plenty of guys talk about this, guys who are trying to grow out their locks. And they talk about that beginning stage when they're growing it, and and it's that stage when they're really little. And some guys don't like it. They talk about like how it looks funny. It's that crazy transition part where they're not really too pleased with how it's looking. But like, but they still go through it because they don't get discouraged and say, well, I'm just gonna cut this shit off. Fuck these dreads. Or maybe some people do, but you know, they be like, well, I'm just gonna cut it off. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep growing it because I know what the end product is gonna look like. I know what I want, and I know the transition period is just something that has to happen in order to get to the end result of what I want. You know what I mean? So that's also another example. I thought some other ones too when I was thinking about this. I mean, I think there's so many that we could think about of transitioning and that process, and how sometimes that process is not fun. But your attitude during that transition could really affect the outcome. Because if you keep a positive attitude throughout your transition, then once the transition is over, and then you get to the place where you transition to, it's going to be different. And if you had a negative attitude throughout that transition, then that can carry over into your new chapter, and you don't want to do that. Gotta stay focused and be mindful, and remember that this transition is just the part that you just have to go through to get to where you want to get to, that next chapter in your journey. You know what I mean? So embrace it. Embrace the transition. Like when you're feeling frustrated, you feel like, oh shit, I gotta go through this shit, just to get over to this part in my life and everything. Don't think of it like that. Think of it like, you know what? This is gonna be great. This is gonna be awesome. May not feel awesome, but you know what? I just can't wait to see the end product of this because it's going to be all so worth it. I'm not even looking at the transition. I'm looking at what I'm getting after the transition. You know what I mean? And that's the exciting part. That's the great exciting part, because when things are changing, in your life, know that it's for a purpose, and the way you view it and your attitude about it while you're going through that transition is very important, because if you have a negative attitude, you can easily go back to a chapter that you don't want to go back to and that you slept from because you wasn't happy with the transition. I remember now the example I thought about earlier. All right, for all you Bible believers, and, I read the Bible so many times, and I know the Word of God. So remember about about Moses, right, in the Exodus, right, and about how he was leading the children of Israel out. All right, I'm sounding like a little preacher for a minute. So when Moses did that, you guys remember the part in the Bible when the children of Israel complaining a lot when they was leaving, after they left Egypt, that transition period, there was like a lot of frustration going on, because even though they left from being in slavery, to Egypt after they left and everything, now, they were happy and celebrating that part, because what God had did for them. But now they were at a position where, like, shit, damn it, what are we going to eat today now? You know what I mean? Or, they was getting tired throughout the journey, you know what I'm saying? And then when Moses went up to talk to God, for a long time, it was like, well, he's not coming back. So they started, like, worshiping other gods. See, they got frustrated within that transition, They kind of forgot the purpose of why they left, and because they got so focused on and stuck in the transition. They're just focused on that part, And a lot of people didn't make it, to that because of that, and which is unfortunate, because that probably wasn't the plan, But yeah, that's really important to think about your attitude while you're transitioning. Oh, and another thing, when you're transitioning, make sure the people that are in your life are that you're not taking negative people with you in your transition. You're not taking negative things with you in transition. Just like when you're moving from one place to another, when you're moving, right? Like, you gotta throw a lot of shit away. Sometimes there's shit that you gotta throw away that you cannot take with you to your next place. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to start off brand new. You gotta evaluate all the things that you have, what you gonna take with you and what you gonna leave behind. It may be a nice dress that you had for years, and you be like, oh shit, I got so many damn clothes, but damn, I had this dress for a long damn time, but I love this dress. One of my favorite dresses. It has so many good times in it. I would bring up some clothes. I like clothes. But, but you know what? That dress, it may, throwing away that old dress is going to make room for new shit that you're going to get when you get to your new place. You know what I mean? So it's like, you have to really be careful with your attitude while you're going through your transition, because it could impact how the next chapter in your journey will go. And you don't want it to be a negative experience. You want it to be a positive experience. You want it to continue to be positive. Okay, so I hope this message was enlightening. But I hope if anyone is going through a transition, just don't look at too much of what you got to go through in order to get to your next phase. Just go through it. Go through it like a pro, Go through it like a kid that's knowing they're going to get some damn ice cream, They're excited because they're like, hey, I know where I'm going and what I'm going to get. Okay? So you guys have a beautiful day. Have a wonderful weekend, and I hope your transition is going smoothly. Make it go smoothly.